The fight for gay marriage is headed to the Supreme Court this month. Ahead of that, both the president and some leading Republicans are speaking out in support of same-sex marriage. Dale Hurd reports.
The president has filed a friend of the court brief with the U.S. Supreme Court urging the justices overturn California's gay marriage ban, Proposition 8. It's the first time a U.S. president has urged the high court to expand the right of gays and lesbians to marry. The president used to oppose gay marriage. He calls his change in views a, quote, evolution.
Marriage is between a man and a woman.
My feelings about this are constantly evolving. I struggle with this.
I think same-sex couples should be able to get married.
Our journey is not complete until our gay brothers and sisters are treated like anyone else under the law.
His Attorney General, Eric Holder.
This is really the latest civil rights issue. It is a question of whether or not American citizens are going to be treated with the equal protection of the laws.
The High Court will be hearing two gay marriage cases back-to-back next month, Prop 8 and then the Defense of Marriage Act. Apple, Google, Facebook, Amazon, and hundreds of other businesses are also filing briefs in support of gay marriage, along with several well-known Republicans, including John Huntsman, Meg Whitman, and Clint Eastwood. But some backers of traditional marriage believe the High Court's decision will swing their way.
What is the public purpose of marriage? Marriage brings together men and women for the reproduction of the human race.
The High Court's ruling is expected by the end of June. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Joining us now is Thomas Peters from the National Organization for Marriage. Thanks for being with us, Mr. Peters.
Good to be with you.
So will the president's brief on Prop 8 really have any impact on the court's decision on whether to uphold the law?
I think if it has any impact, it'll actually have a negative one in terms of getting the result that the president wants. I think he's politicized the issue, and frankly, he has no credibility on it either, because as that montage you just showed points out, he's flipped his position several times now. And at this stage, the question at the Supreme Court is whether we're going to respect the right of the 7 million Californian voters who voted to protect marriage, or if the Supreme Court's going to, by fiat, erase their democratic vote.
You know, a lot of Republicans who are typically socially conservative are switching and are now supporting gay marriage. Why is that, do you suppose?
Well, first of all, I think that's not actually what's happening. If you look at this list of Republican signers, the one thing they almost all have in common is that they're not in office anymore. They don't have to face the voters with their new marriage views. And in our experience, and the Associated Press had a recent report on this, when Republicans switch their views on marriage, they lose elections. And so even the highest name they could find, John Huntsman, for all of his millions, he only placed third in New Hampshire. So all of the other Republican candidates for president last term signed our pro-marriage pledge. So the Republican Party, I think, is strongly pro-marriage, but it's our opponents who are trying to confuse the issue.
So two biggies coming up, the Prop 8 case and the case of the Defense Against Marriage Act will be argued before the Supreme Court this month. What do you think?
We're very confident that the Supreme Court is going to validate the rights of ordinary Americans to protect marriage and law, as over 30 states have done. And we're also holding a march on the National Mall that day to celebrate marriage and show the positive face of the future of the pro-marriage movement.
All right, Mr. Peters, thanks for joining us.